Deuce, I was just going to ask you, what is it you think it says about this team after the huge win yesterday to come out and play so well so early in a game you probably might have known you were going to win anyway, but to take it so seriously and play so focused early? What do you think it says about this football team?
Yeah, our word of the week this week was respond. That's what we're talking about. You know, you often have to respond to negative stuff, but I think a lot of defining factors of success is how well you respond to success as well, right? So coming off last week, we had a big win, obviously, but we couldn't get satisfied. You know, we have to take every team like it's our championship, because the ultimate goal is to win a championship. So this was championship game number 2. And I think we came out, did what we needed to do, and now going into this bye week, we're gonna practice getting ready for championship game number 3.
This is for both of you guys. Tommy, I guess for you first, can you kind of describe your point of view from the first touchdown to Deuce and then the second one as well, and then Deuce, your point of view on seeing Tommy get hit and your first touchdown catch and then your second one as well?
Yeah, I tell this guy every day, man, every time I don't get him the ball, I let him down. And I feel like last week I let him down. There was some plays where I could have gotten the ball downfield, and he could have did the same thing he did today, and I let him down last week. And I was like, this week, I was going to make an emphasis of getting him the ball and letting him show the world who he is and what he can be. And I think he did that today. He showed you guys how talented and how good he is.
I'm going to counter that. That dude never lets me down. I absolutely love playing with this dude, playing for this guy. Like, he is everything and more that you could ask for in your quarterback. Like, and so I think, you know, it shows, obviously, I didn't see him get hit, but then coming back to the sideline and seeing, you know, that he was willing to get hit to throw me the ball that he threw me. Like, I think that shows qualities of how good of a leader he is and how much he's willing to do for this football team. And so if you don't want to play your heart out for a guy like that, I don't know what you're doing. And then obviously the second touchdown, he gave me a chance. And you know, if he's gonna give me a chance, I need to make a play. And so that's what we did. And so yeah, it was pretty cool.
We're gonna go to Ira.
Thank you.
Tommy, would you prefer to play more than a quarter and a half, or did you enjoy a day like this and getting to watch the young guys play?
I enjoyed it, man. Being able to just see the guys get out there because, you know, ultimately it's probably, 80 to 90 to 100 guys on the team, and not only just 11 on offense, 11 on defense, or the guys that rotate is busting their butt every day, every practice, all off season. Those guys as well, from scout team, from whatever, and I feel like they earned that today. They got their families were here. They got to, show their friends and families that they had an opportunity to play. So, I'm super proud of them. They got in there, and I mean, to me, it didn't look no different from us to them. Like, they got in and they still held their own, and they went in there and they showed what they can do. So, super props to them, and I'm proud of them to be able to just go in there and play at a high level. Like I said, they earned it. They bust their butt all summer long, all off season long, just like we do, and they don't get any praise. So today it was great seeing those guys go in there and get some action.
Go back down here, Brendan.
Tommy, what were your thoughts on Kevin Sperry getting his first action? Seems like he calmed down and made some nice throws.
Yeah, Kevin, he's super talented, to be a young guy. He's super poised and calm, and me just telling him when he took his first snaps, like, hey, just go in there and be you. I see it every day, and I see what you're capable of. Just go be yourself. And he went out there today. He was super poised. He was super confident. He led, the guys that was out there with him. And I'm super proud of him. I told him after he threw his first touchdown and he ran and stuff like that, I was like, man, I'm proud of you. This is his first touchdown, and, it's his first, place in, matter of fact, he told me when he came to the sideline, he was like, dude, that's probably the first time I got hit in like a year or so. So he was super excited. He had fun, and, that's all that matters.
Can I go to Noah, Chris?
Can you guys both talk about processing the tragic event of Ethan this week, honoring him today, having Earl here present, the jerseys on the field, just all of that has happened over the last 6 days?
Yeah, obviously it's pretty hard on all of us because that's our teammate, and I know you guys probably think that, he was on the defense, or he played linebacker, so, quarterback and wide receiver probably don't have a relationship with Ethan, but no, man, like we had he's always at our house, at our pool, and hanging out with us and stuff like that. It was crazy. It was a tragedy, and it's something that made us go out there and play for him today. That was one of his things. His dad was with us on the sideline and in the locker room, and he was with us through this whole process. We actually let him break the rock today, just for just a sign of comfort and for them. But we're praying for Ethan, and we wish him a speedy recovery, and that God upstairs give him a second chance at life, and get back with us as soon as possible.
Go to Corey.
Deuce, when on Gavin's screen pass that he caught for the touchdown, he got a really good block from Javon. And on the sideline, it seemed like more people went and congratulated Javon on the block than Sawchuk on the touchdown. Again, is that kind of something that could be part of just this team's DNA, like appreciating that kind of stuff and not just the guy that scores the touchdown?
Absolutely. I think we have an offense who takes pride in the little things, right? Because we feel like little things turn into big things. And so most people aren't going to look at that block and say, that's the reason he scored. But it is, right? And we want to congratulate those guys, and we want to take as much pride in, the guy who delivered the block just as much as the guy who scored the touchdown. Because, that's what it takes to win football games. You might not see it on the stat sheet. You might not hear everyone talking about it, but that's what winning football is. It's not just going to be when you get a target and catch a ball. What's going to win us football games is going to be the blocks that spring big plays. It's going to be the linemen up front. It's going to be the running backs. It's going to be all of that. Whether it be pass protection, whether it be blocking downfield on the perimeter, blocking after a catch, all of that is what's going to win us football games. And so I think we have an offense who takes pride in that just as much as the guy who has the ball in his hands.
Got time for a couple more going to Justin.
Deuce, growing up, in an FSU household with your dad playing here, how good was it to feel like you first being in Doak and scoring a touchdown today? I know you played last week, but how good was it to feel, the first touchdown here at Doak?
It's surreal. Growing up, coming to games, growing up watching games in Doak, to be able to first catch a pass last week, but then also score a touchdown this week, it's a feeling like no other. I used to dream about that as a kid, being able to run out of that tunnel, being able to score a touchdown as a Seminole, watching Chief Osceola throw the spear down. Those are all memories that I have as a kid watching on my TV that now I get to live out on a daily basis. All I know is 5-year-old me would be very proud of myself right now.
Go over here to Peter.
Deuce, just talk about that. Go back to that one-handed catch. Do you ever recall making that kind of play, or do you remember a time that you made that kind of catch, or what? And just Tommy, just thoughts about what was that initial reaction when you saw that catch, or when you saw that he was going to make that one-hander?
I'll go first. Since he got here and we've been playing together, he's been making wild plays like that. So it didn't surprise me at all. I was just super proud of him because he scored a touchdown and whatnot. But that's easy for my boy Deuce.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of blacked out during the play. I don't remember very much. But like I said before, I feel as though if Tommy's gonna give me a chance, that means he trusts me, right? And I need to make sure he trusts me more. And so if he's gonna give me a chance to throw a ball up like that, if I need to use one hand, two hands, no hands to catch it, I need to make the play. And so it was really cool. And hopefully, God willing, there's a lot more of those on the way.
Got time for two more going to Brendan.
You said earlier that the word of the week was respond to positivity. As you think back, for both you guys, as you think back through the course of the week and preparation for this game, I guess what stood out to you about the way you guys approached the week? Because Coach Norvell said there was Tuesday was really good, Wednesday had some ups and downs. So as you think about the collective, mature group, what did you guys see from it, I guess?
I'll take this one. I think as a team, we take pride in trying to make our practices harder than our games. I feel very strongly that we have one of the best defensive groups in the nation. And so I know I can go out and feel very confident that in my ability because I'm seeing one of the best DB groups in the nation every single day, right? Like, I think our practices are more challenging than games a lot of times, and we've created an environment where we can go out on game day and just be ourselves because, like, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on the level of your training. That's something we talk about a lot, right? And, you know, this whole offseason, we've been training relentlessly. We've been training against the best every single day. And so why would we go out there on game day and be nervous or be scared when, you know, I feel like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, we're seeing the best every day. You know what I mean?
Tommy, can you talk about some of the young skill guys? And we saw some of them last week, but we got to see more of them today. Like, how exciting has it been seeing those guys come along? What can they do for you between Oos and Javen and all these guys?
Yeah, I think we got a good group of skill guys. We got a lot of depth. We'd be able to throw any guy in there, and he'd be able to, you know, play and be able to start for us. The main thing is that those guys are dialed in and locked in every, you know, like, and they prepare like they're going to be the starter every week, week in and week out. So I'm super proud of those guys and the way they approach the game as young guys, as freshmen. It's probably the best freshman I've ever been around when it comes to preparing and getting ready to play. Like I said, they got in there today and they showed what they can do, and it wasn't like a slope or drop off from the, you know, the offense at all. So I'm just super proud of those guys and the confidence that they have to be able to go out there on a college game, having been able to play since high school, and be able to go out there in front of, you know, a certain amount of people and be able to execute. So it just shows you how much depth that we have, and that, you know, if guys go down or if we do need to play another guy, something like that, that we have depth and we'll be able to play our young guys, and we're not afraid to play our young guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Gavin, a lot of guys did a whole lot today, but can you just talk about your day getting 3 touchdowns and showing different things that you can do on offense?
Yeah, you know, had a great day. You know, thanks to the guys up front, you know, the guys around me on that offense, you know, being able to make that possible. You know, special shout out to Boggs. You know, he had a great block there on that catch. You know, I owe him some, so I'm gonna get him right. But you know, yeah, that's what it is. You know, the team, you know, we stepped up, we did what we had to do, we competed. Everybody did their job, and that's what allowed me to have that day. So, you know, thankful for those guys and excited for it.
Jerry, can you, one, talk about just the defensive performance as a whole? 3 points in a college football game is incredible. And then your first interception, just kind of the feelings of getting that. And did you want to take it back to the house? Was that the plan?
Yeah, I wanted to. I should have kept my feet. But, yeah, it's a testament, man, to how hard we practice. And I just love seeing everybody go out there and have fun because we strain so much in practice, bro. We strain, bro. I'm talking about not just, you feel me, last week. This week, last week, camp, it didn't matter who the opponent is. You know, the motto is we're going against ourselves. So every practice leading up to this is what makes a good outcome like this. So, you know, it's fun just, you know, being around guys that work so hard, man. You go out there and see everybody succeed. It just makes you so happy. Feel me?
For Jerry, you guys were so close to the shutout. That group at the end, fought like at the goal line. What did for you guys to see third, fourth string guys to be battling like that to do their best to not give it up? I guess what does that say about the depth of this team, the character of it, everything?
It shows how deep we are. Like I said, we practice hard, and a lot of those guys that were in there are the ones that was giving us looks throughout the week. So we're so excited to see them out there playing hard because they practice so hard against us. We already know what they about to do. So, and then that's a testament to, the word of the week was response. So, they gave up a big play, but you see the response at the goal line. They had a big goal line stand. You feel me? And against a big team, that's just as good. You feel me? Like a goal line stand is a goal line stand. So, yeah, it was fun watching them play, watching them perform too.
Go over here to Peter.
Jerry, as a defensive player, just talked about how with the Ethan Pritchard situation, and then see his father at the game, just talked about the whole thing and just having to play for him.
Yeah, man. It weighs on us for real because he's such a good dude, man. You feel me? He's positive. He's from Seminoles. I'm from Central Florida. I played him in the state championships. We always joking with each other, about who team better and stuff. But I know a lot of his people, and I could definitely say every time I seen him, every time I hung out with him, man, he was always good dude, always positive, and he a competitor, bro. So I know he gonna get up out of that bed soon, and he's gonna be walking. He gonna be good. He gonna come back there soon because he a competitor, bro. And he wouldn't want nothing else but to be here with us. So we take that to the chin, bro. And we know we're not gonna take it for granted. No matter how beat up we are and everything, we was just reminded about him. Like we know he would want to be out here going hard because he's the biggest Seminole fan out of everybody on the team. If y'all ain't know, he been wanting to come here since he was like freshman in high school. He been committed. So yeah.
Go to Ira.
It seemed like even before you guys started winning games like this team really connected well. But you guys have only been here for a few months. Like, how do you explain the way this team has come together and playing for each other and fighting for each other when there's so many new guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's just what everybody's leading towards, the brotherhood. You can feel it in the locker room. You can feel it with all the guys. I know I can speak for myself specifically. Like coming here, it was all love, like from everybody. And and that's hard sometimes, especially when you're competing against some dudes for positions and jobs. But everybody here wants to win, and they want to see everybody succeed. And you don't see that in a lot of places. So just having that brotherhood, having that true family that that everybody speaks about, and it starts from the coaches, it comes all the way down to the players. Everybody cares about everybody. We all want to see each other succeed. So I mean, a day like today was a perfect example. You're seeing guys cheering for the young guys getting in, the guys that don't get a whole bunch of reps, them getting in and getting to play. Like being able to see that was great. Like everybody loved it. So that's that brotherhood we're trying to build. And just continuing to grow closer, especially during times like these. We're just as much as Ethan's fighting, we're praying for him. And, we're trying to do the best we can to, we know he wants to be here, and we're gonna represent him as much as we can. So everybody, you saw the wristbands that we had, the 35 on there. So we care about it. We want, we're praying for him to come out that bed, and as soon as he does, we're gonna be right there with him. We're family.
Anything else?
Jerry, can you follow up on just the team culture since you've been here?
Oh yeah, it's been great. Like it's always, hey, listen, man, listen. We good with we do perfect tens after penalty. Yeah, we good with a celebration penalty, man. When everybody come off the field and having fun like that, yeah, we'll take those perfect tens. So I was happy that we was happy for each other, like you said. Like that's rare to have. Feel me? Like we were blessed to be in a situation where we came to Florida State and everybody around us, I could say the same exact thing as him, bro. Everyone around us was just so loving and accepting, bro, from day one. So yeah, that's a perfect visual of us. That little flag we got, that's a perfect visual. We all want to see each other win. We're not gonna get another one of those if Coach Norvell watching those, so don't tell him. I'm happy about that.
All right, we good? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Does he need to fix it? No. Sure? Okay. Ready when you are, Derek. Okay. All right, just first off, really proud of our players, the work they put in this week. It's been an emotional week for us. And, just start off, and I'm grateful, I thank God every day for the opportunity I get to be around these young men and the work that they pour in, the relationships that they're building, the investment to just try to be the best version of who they are, on and off the field. And, it was a tough week, coming off a big win, obviously, our hearts were with Ethan and, the fight that he's going through. And, it's, a lot of emotions for our team. And, but I thought our guys, throughout this week and everything that we experienced, I thought they really, truly came with a purpose and a passion to go get better. And, that was the focus, is that, man, I wanted to see their response. I wanted to, put on film and, to go compete as a team that's passionate to get better. And, I thought they did that. And a lot of explosive plays, a lot of players. I think we were close to 90 players that got a chance to play today. And as I was challenging them throughout it, it didn't matter the player that went in, the standard and expectation and responsibility to this program we all have. And, I thought they did a really nice job. It was a dominant performance. And, offensively, defensively, I thought, the coaching staffs, both sides of the ball, special teams, I thought everybody did a wonderful job in preparing, because I wanted to see this team, go take a positive step. And they definitely did that, and just a great day and great performance overall. You'll really appreciate. I want to give out a shout out to our student section. They sold out today, and we had a great crowd, great energy. Early kickoff, but they came, and you felt them early in the contest. I tell you, marching chiefs once again. So very impactful, and you continue to fuel off that energy that this great fan base brings. And so just grateful for all of our Florida State family that was here today. And, it was a great atmosphere. And once again, it's good to take another positive step and to be sitting here 2-0.
Mike, you touched on the emotions of the week. You guys have the sweatbands on. We saw Earl Little bring the jersey out, and then Earl Pritchard was here, and I believe Tommy told us he broke the rock after the game. Can you just talk about that and how they kind of responded and played for Ethan?
Yeah, it's I'm gonna try. I'll try. But Ethan is one of my I've recruited him for years. Got a chance to watch him grow and just when he committed to Florida State, the way that he plays the game, it's a passion, energy. He loves it. Absolutely loves it. And to know that right now that's taken away from him, in a senseless act, and something that you don't always know why, and you don't always know why you have to go through things in life. You don't understand, the reasoning, but I do believe that God has His hand over Ethan and this football team and just all the relationships. But to have Earl here today, he's a wonderful man, and he is. Being with him, I know it's so very hard, and I know it's so hard, for anybody to have to go through. But he told me earlier in this week. He said, "I know where my boy wants to be, so I'm gonna go stand in his place for him." And to see the team and just the embrace for that, it's special.
The maturity of this team from this whole week to come out and play this way, play this dialed in, play this focus. I'm sure you're proud of it, but I guess what does it say about this group and what they're becoming?
Well, they, it's like I told them, everybody can desire an identity, and any team right now, is they're talking about wanting to win championships. They're talking about wanting to be the best. They're talking about these great players that they say they want to become. People will, they'll hear you when you talk, all right, but they'll listen by your actions. And I thought that this team, with their actions, right, showed a little bit more in depth of what they're capable of, because they didn't let up. And next week we got a bye week, and I can promise you we're going to go to work. I can promise you we're going to push. We're going to challenge. It's every day we've got to continue to elevate. As we know, there's great challenges ahead. And last week I didn't get enamored by the opponent we played. I focus on our team and the great individuals I get to coach, and the expectations and the belief in what I think that they can do. And this team's embracing that now. Tomorrow's a new day, and what we're willing to do with tomorrow will put us in a position, to take another step higher, or you give somebody else an opportunity. But I believe in what this team will do.
You spoke on running ballpark 90 players out there today. How beneficial for some of those guys who don't get much experience usually was today, and just what did you take from
it's really good. I mean, and anytime you can play that many players, and for guys that, there's no substitute for experience. And, you see things and the way that it operates, the way that it, unfolds. There are some good plays and there are some bad plays. And you got to see some guys that really, rose to the occasion. And, we're going to be able to encourage and build off of that. And then there's some critical corrections that we're going to have to make, and to help guys, you understand that, hey, it might not have looked like you want it to, but if you're willing to pour in and go get better, then we'll be one step closer. So it's good to be able to have that on-field experience. And like I said, I thought. Gus, Tony, JP, I mean, I thought they did a wonderful job in the planning. You see the assistant coaches. I mean, I thought they coached, throughout the game, challenging these guys to go be, what they can, and, understanding that, every play we're representing something special with this university.
This game offensively, Deuce has the big first quarter, first big game. Gavin has a huge game. Do you guys know who's going to have the big game going into a game, or is it evolve just the way who's?
Well, I mean, you never exactly know, where those opportunities are going to show up. But it's like you challenge players. You never know exactly when, but when it does, you have to be ready. And I thought Deuce was remarkable. I mean, he showcased what we get to see in practice. His speed, length, playmaking ability. I mean, that was an incredible touchdown catch. Great ball by Tommy to keep it on the outside, whereas Deuce or nobody. And I mean, that was a thing of beauty. Obviously the long 80-yard touchdown. I mean, that was just speed, and Tommy, put the ball out there for Deuce to go get it, and he did. And so, I really like what I'm seeing from them. I like what, obviously with Roydell down, Gavin got, a little bit bigger workload, and was, I think he had 3 touchdowns today, very productive, in his with his opportunity. The offensive line, was dominant today, and they needed to be, but you look, defensively, it's really the same. It's the same thing. It's you never know. As you have a team that's going to try to attack a variety of different ways. But it was good to see us create a couple takeaways. You had the 2 interceptions. You felt the guys flying around. Some big hits. And so it was a good game, good complimentary football.
It occurs to me, like, you're just looking at the stat line and the way the game kind of went through. Your best players, or your top players, your leaders, captains, made big plays and pretty early and set the tone. Is that, I would imagine, exactly what you're looking for in terms of guys kind of setting the tone from a maturity standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, and that was, I challenged them this morning. Obviously it's early kick. I want to see us start fast. And, the great thing is, we practice in the morning, so you get up, you get ready to roll, and, but the mentality, the intensity, being able to rise up. And, there was a, that first drive offensively, we had to overcome, we missed on a couple of, third down opportunities, took some fourth down conversions, but being able to finish in the end zone was big. And, and then as you progress, we got to stop, big play, offensively, and you felt this team, fighting for each possession, and it was able to jump out early, and which obviously allowed a lot of people to be able to play and contribute.
I had, a question about 2 true freshmen. Kevin Sperry, what did you think of his performance? And then the block that Boggs had. not just the block he had, the way his teammates appreciated it on the sidelines and came over to him more than they came over to Sawchuk to congratulate him on that block. What does that mean for you as a coach?
No, that's
to
what
see
it's
and know
that's
that?
what it's about. And I thought both those guys. I was glad to see Javen got the touchdown later. His first of what I believe will be many. In his Florida State career. But I thought him and Kevin. I was really proud of Kevin. And Brock got in there, got a chance to do some things. Brock's been he's been battling through some injury things throughout. But you're really pleased with the preparation that all those guys have really poured into it. And, I think Kevin showed, what I've said. I mean, he gets on the field, you don't feel like he's a freshman. He's very, on the touchdown to Ooze. I mean, we knew it'd be a free runner with the blitzer, and he just calm, collect, threw a great ball out there for the touchdown. The block by Javen was really impressive. There on the fourth down, and just he's got his route, and he was preliminarily was open, but the first read got it to the back, and he went and did what he's needed to do for his teammates. And it's everybody wants the ball at receiver, skill positions, but when you're willing, when the ball doesn't come to you, and you're still willing to make those effort. I say unselfish plays. I mean, it's big. And I think you saw the appreciation from his teammates when you're willing to give for the benefit of others. And, that represents Florida State football.
With so many different pieces, I think we've seen now over the last couple of years of college football, as these rosters change so much, it's difficult to know what the chemistry, culture, all that's going to be like. What do you think's been the key to this group, the way they've all kind of rallied around each other? Where do you think that came from?
Well, I mean, I think it's a lot of the the DNA of who they are. They came in, eyes wide open, and that's players that came back. That's high school players that came in, transfers that joined our program. There's no exception. Like if you don't have that desire, and I mean everybody's got desire, but if you're not willing to put into action the work, the investment, the sacrifice for to go win and to represent Florida State and to be a part of this team and this program, then it wasn't going to work. And I think we were able to find an incredible group of young men, and we have had a great group of young men that were here, part of the program that wanted to be the difference. Because let's be real. I mean, every player that was on our team, had opportunities to go other places. Like that's the new age of college football. But the ones that knew the expectation, wanted to be a part of the difference, wanted to be guys that led as we push forward. I mean they've done a remarkable job, and I think the newcomers they are who I thought they would be, and they've bought into Florida State, and we're going to continue to challenge them for every bit of who they are. And we've seen this before. It's not like the first time that we've had this, but we were able to go and get the right guys, and they've done a wonderful job pouring into this program and their teammates.
Information later. Do you have any updates on Squirrel White and James Williams? Are those long-term injuries?
I don't have that type of information right now, but I don't believe so. But obviously we'll see. All right, thank you guys.